Coaching a football team to play out from the back can be difficult. There are many different ways in which you can do this, in which you can get your team to play out from the goalkeeper, but it can be hard to know or to decide which patterns of play are going to work for your team. So in this video, I'm going to offer you some tips and training drill ideas that you can use to successfully coach your team to play out from the back. Hi, I'm Coach G and I help provide coaches with tips, training drill ideas that you can use and adapt for your training sessions. And today we're going to be looking at how we can coach our team to successfully play from the back. And later on at the end of the video, I will be showing you examples of my team and how they play from the back during the game. Now, whilst I'm going to be using a under-12s team that plays 8-a-side, the main principles of this can be used with obviously 9-a-side and above. However, later on I'm hopefully going to be making a video that more specifically looks at this with 11-a-side. So in order to play out from the back, there are a few things that we need to work on. One, we need to work on individual technical ability, and secondly, we need to work on collective and individual tactical understanding of this phase of play. So let's get started with technical ability. To succeed on a more consistent basis, it's really important that players are comfortable when receiving the ball and are able to control and pass the ball with good technique, good body positioning, and awareness or vision to look for a teammate. Now, forgive me for starting with this. I realise it's the most basic practice that we can do, but since I'm using a kids team, for example, simply practicing passes and controlling the ball with various parts of the foot in the most basic setting is still very, very important if we're going to achieve our goal. So I'm not going to dwell on this one, but just to say, practicing controlling the ball with the inside and the outside of the foot, moving the ball into spaces whilst they control the ball, and finally making lots of passes to improve a player's passing accuracy should be done many times throughout a session and throughout the weeks in order for a player to reach a certain level of competence. And just to say, I normally do this at the start of a session towards the end of a warm-up. So let's progress this so that we begin practicing in a more challenging situation, but at the moment still with no opposition players. So this exercise is more specific for central midfield players. Well, here we have the midfield player between the cones, receiving the ball from the central defender with his back to goal. So the midfielder plays the ball back first time and then quickly moves to the side to create an angle to receive the ball again whilst opening up the body to be sideways on. This will allow the player to look forward as he or she receives the ball and hopefully plays a forward pass so that the team can advance. To progress this drill so that we can train a player's awareness, we allow the player to turn if there is no pressure from behind. This means that the player will have to scan over his or her shoulder to know if it is possible to turn the first time, or if he or she will have to create an angle to receive the ball again on the half turn. So this can be done by placing a defender to occasionally defend or lifting a cone with a specific colour that indicates if there is pressure or no pressure on the player. As well as these, we can practice larger passing combination drills that involve more players and work on different elements needed for a team to work their way up the field and towards the opposition's goal. After playing the ball back to player number 1, who is a central defender, the wide player moves inside to receive the ball and lays it off to player number 2, who then plays a first time pass into player number 4, who in this case is the striker. So now we come to the collective and individual tactical understanding of this phase of play. So as a team and a group of players, everybody must understand what we are trying to do and how we can achieve the objective. So the obvious answer to what we're trying to achieve is to move the ball higher up the field in a less direct manner where we can hopefully create a goal scoring opportunity. But to do this, we need each individual player to understand the various ways in which we can accomplish our objective of playing out from the back. So why do I say various ways? Well, the answer to that is simple. We do not know exactly what the opposition are going to do and where the opposition players are going to be situated. So it's crucial that we have a set framework in which the players understand their roles and movements, as well as knowing what is expected of them when they receive the ball. So it's important that the players see this framework as a guide so that there is a cohesion amongst the players, but at the same time allows the players a little bit of freedom to react and make decisions of their own during the game. So how do we coach this to the players? Well, firstly, we practice without a rival team being involved so that the team can become accustomed to the sequence of passes and movements required. Now, these passing sequences are personal to every and each individual coach, and there's no right or wrong answer to this. It's just down to the personal preference of the coach. So I personally give the players a framework which to work in, which moves the team to a certain part of the field, and once they reach that, they have unlimited freedom to decide what they want to do, how they're going to play, and now and again I'll just give little pointers to the team or to each individual player as they go along. After this, we can then add in opposition players that will attempt just to put a little bit of pressure on the ball passively, and then we can build this up to where the opposition are then fully committed to trying to steal the ball as we try to move the ball further up the field. Note, now and then I might place some lines across the field or mark out some squares to give the player certain reference points and place an extra focus on something specific to a particular player. This can sometimes help with any player who might be struggling with his or her understanding of where they need to be at certain times in a certain situation. So the only thing left to do is for the team to actually put this into practice during a competitive game. But before I show you some examples of my team, I'd just like to remind coaches that this takes consistent practice throughout the weeks. Don't expect every single player to get this at the first attempt. It does take time before players start getting into positions and looking for specific passes automatically that you've worked on. So as promised, here we have a few clips of what playing out from the back looks like.
I'm really on fire tonight, can't nobody hold me down. I'm doing whatever now, ain't got no time to fight. I'm talking way too loud, and if you don't like the sound, you could just tune it out. Who you rooting for? They say whatever team that'll win. I say cool, cause it's gonna be whichever one I'm in. Yeah, I'm good like that. Yeah, I'm good like that. Who you rooting for? They say whatever team that'll win. I say cool, cause it's gonna be whichever one I'm in. Yeah, I'm good like that. Yeah, I'm good like that. Telling you that I might never go to sleep, stay up all night, doing just what I like. No more hoping, no, I'm right like this. I don't lie like this, I'm on fire like this. Yeah.
So until the next video, take care, and I'll see you soon.
Looking over here, they giving me a